I think I'm in love again. I looked at this and it is so beautiful. So I thought I should walk you through the kind of things that I'm looking for and what I would get. Maybe you'll be interested in hearing various people's thoughts about what they like and how they configure their car. But this isn't the GT3 that I'm interested in. It's actually this baby. I am so excited to see the new Panamera. I know Panamera is one of those Marmite things that people either love it or hate it, but I've always loved it and I've had a few. I still own one, and this one particularly, the new Sport Turismo, is just beautiful. The curves at the back that they've done on this one are just fantastic. So as soon as I saw this car advertised online and on various websites and YouTube, I jumped onto the car configurator to see if I can get one, and if so, which one would I want and all that stuff. So I thought I should share that with you, and then you can see what my thought process is behind when I'm buying a car. So in this, obviously now if you look at this Panamera, gosh, they have so many varieties, and as usual there's small price differences in between these cars, but you don't know what you're going to get until you go into each one of those. So it would be good if they had a little comparison table, but they don't. So the key thing for me is the engine, because if the engine isn't great, I get bored very easily and then I start thinking of replacing the car. So now I'm looking at the new Panamera Sport Turismo, and it seems like I don't even know if they do a two-wheel Turismo, because looking at this, all of them seem to be four-wheel drive except for the turbo versions, which are just astronomical. Entry level 117,000. It's just a family car. You don't want to spend an obscene amount of money. I mean, not that this is cheap anyway. So I think that I would go for something that's comparable to what I have, because I'm really happy with it. And so I would choose this one, which is a 3-litre. I think it has turbos because it produces 330 brake horsepower. And so my current car is 300 brake horsepower, and I'm very happy with it. It's fast. And this one's petrol. What really stood out for me was this amazing fuel consumption. I'm getting 44 miles to a gallon in extra urban on my car, which is a diesel, and this one's a petrol and it's doing the same, which is fantastic, and it's an all-wheel drive. Unfortunately, I don't really like the inside of the new Panamera, but perhaps it will grow on me over time, but it's just one of those things. I'm not sure if I like it. So this color, I'm not sure what this is. It looks like agate grey. I think we'll check. But there's the volcanic grey metallic, and then there is... So the first thing that I would like to highlight here is that Porsche are being very naughty, because they say the base price is 73,071, but no, the base price is 74,000, because you cannot sell a car without paint. So I don't have a choice here to choose a free paint. So if I say, look, just leave my car, don't paint it, will they send it out like that? No, they won't. So I think they should really be honest about it and say the car's 74,000 and not 73,000. So with that said, let's look at the wheels. So the wheels, again, are very important on how a car looks. At the moment I've got the winter wheels and tires on my Panamera, and they're 19-inch and they're not that amazing. So it's important to have good wheels, because the normal ones that I have are, I think, 20 or 21-inch, and they're really nice, so it changes the look of the car. Again, if you look at these, this one is the standard one that it comes with, ugly as hell. Then for £400 you get these, which are again not amazing. Then you spend £1,200 and I don't see the difference. I mean, they're all equally bad. You keep spending more money until you get to this £1,400 mark when they look half decent. So unfortunately, since it's very important for the look of the car, and especially when you come to sell it, I'm going to go for that. Wheel accessories, again, another way of Porsche ripping you off. So these little wheel centers that you see here, they cost £120 if you want them in color. And if you want them in the standard black and white, then that's fine. Now the thing that's really bugging me here, and one of the reasons I wouldn't order the car straight away, is look at the color choices, very limited. So standard interior, partial leather seats. No, not really. You're spending so much money on a car and you want to get partial leather. It's not gonna work. So you can have this standard beige and black contrast or interior. It's been around for a long time, it's everlasting, it's classic, but at the same time I'm not sure that that would work very well with the grey car. And then you have this saddle brown leather, which looks very nice. I had the umber leather in my last agate grey 911 and it was beautiful, but a darker interior on a car like this makes it look a little smaller. It's a massive car inside, so it's better to have a lighter interior. Then I looked at this, which again is not too bad, but because I have dogs and I wear blue jeans a lot, I think this may not work. So although with a grey car this is a good combination, I've seen this in real life, it looks beautiful. What I really wanted was a red interior, just like the one I had in my 718. It was a beautiful contrast. So at the moment, because I don't have a choice of a red interior, I'll just go with this for demonstration purposes to show you. Now the 14-way power seats, yeah, they're useful. Currently in my 911 I have the 18-way adaptive sports seats with a memory package. They're very expensive, but that GTS comes with so many extras as standard, which is why I keep saying that instead of spending, I don't know, £90,000 on a 911. Thing is, most people look at the entry-level price and then they spec it up and end up spending, I don't know, 105,000 or 107,000. For another 3,000 they could get a GTS, which would have all those things. And if you don't like the sporty look, you can always downgrade the alloy wheels and things like that. So anyhow, 14-way package, I'm not sure what value this would add. Currently I have an 8-way system in my car and it's sufficient in the Panamera. It's a big car, it's very comfortable. You don't need the seats to be completely adaptive. Now they have so many different choices and so many different things. I don't know if I want everything, but let's look at this because the side skirts are quite important. They make the car look quite chunky and bigger, although they're quite pricey, but if you went and bought them separately, they would be probably £2,000 later on. So let's put them in and we can always remove it if the price goes over the top. So LED headlights, including in the 911 I have PDLS lights. They're quite useful. They turn as you turn the steering wheel, so they're quite good, but I think they're quite pricey. And the main thing is that when you're driving from England to France, Germany or other countries, because you change the side of the road that you're driving on, you need to change the angle of the lights, because otherwise you'd be dazzling the other people coming from the other side. So in the PDLS you just have a button that you click and the lights switch, whereas on the normal ones you have to take this tool out and then remove the headlight and then open it up from behind, press a button and then put the light back on. So it takes about 20 minutes. I usually do it when I'm crossing the Channel Tunnel in the train, but it's a pain in the backside because your hands get dirty and you have to take off the headlights. It's just a bit of a pain. Tinted taillights, I'm not sure if I like the tinted taillights. Let's look at it, let's see what they look like. So this is the standard light, tinted ones, and these are the standard ones. So I'm gonna go back to this display thing. Yeah, these are tinted. So I guess I'll have to go for that because that's the car that I really like. So I'm not gonna go for comfort access because it's what used to be called Porsche entry and drive, I think, which is keyless entry basically. It's a lot of money and there's so much talk about people cloning your key and all that, so let's not go with that. It doesn't make any difference, you just press a button and that's it. Unlocks the car, no big deal. Reverse camera, very important. Surround view, I've seen that, I'm not 100% sure if it makes any difference. Panoramic roof, absolutely, because it's such a big car, you want to have some light coming in from the top, it looks beautiful. So I have a sunroof in both my cars at the moment, and I wish they had panoramic sunroofs, but they don't, they're just the standard ones. This one says it's a panoramic sunroof, but I think from what I've seen in the cars in the Porsche dealership, the normal Panamera had two separate sunroofs, so I'm not sure if the Turismo will have a proper panoramic one or just a standard one. Privacy glass is the tinted windows. It's something I'm not going to have anymore because two things: one, it reduces visibility, and two, makes you look like a gangster. If you have a dark car, especially a black car with tinted windows, you just look like a knob, so I'm not going to go for that. Soft closed doors, yes, that is a very nice feature, I really like it. So instead of slamming doors, you just close it and it shuts it for you. Preparation for tow bar, yes, because I'm thinking that at some point I'm going to get a trailer and put my 911 on it and then tow it. So when I go abroad I can take both cars. Again, the rest of it is just if you have too much money and no sense, just keep slapping on more things. Exterior package in matte aluminium finish is this thing, which I actually really like, and you can't do a retrofit of this because it's part of the frame of the glass and all that. So on the other hand, this one looks very sporty without it, so maybe no. Also, I just noticed they've chosen darker wheels. Maybe I should have a look and see. £3,400, that's just outrageous. £3,700. My god, that is such a rip-off. Okay, so they are very expensive, and those are the ones that I have at the moment in mind. Maybe grey, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I mean, they're so pricey at the moment I won't bother. Door handles, glass, side window trims, black gloss. No, not really. Let's see what this actually does. Okay, so these things change into gloss for £260. No. That I really like, but I don't think. Maybe because I'm having silver wheels. Oh, let's pick that for now. I've always liked it. Okay, transmission and chassis. Why do they say 8-speed PDK and there's a little dot next to it? That's standard, you can't change that, so let's just not bother mentioning it. Unless I had a choice of a manual transmission, there's no point. Power steering plus, it's a nice thing to have because you can always turn it off. Well, you can't turn it off yourself, you have to take it to the Porsche dealer. But basically, it has a servo motor within the steering wheel, so it makes the steering wheel very soft when you're going at slow speed, but when you're going fast, it tightens it up, so you get the feel of a normal steering wheel, but it's actually an electric steering wheel. I don't have this in the, I think in the 911, and in the previous 911 I had it, but I had it disabled because in the 911 you want to feel the car and you want it to be hard, you don't want it to be soft and fiddly. So but this is a comfortable car. Air suspension. So in the last two Panameras I've had, they didn't have an air suspension, but this time I'm going to choose that because it just gives it an extra smooth ride, and it gives you the ability to adjust the ride as well. Again, rear wheel steering, not needed. PCCV, not really. I don't need to be racing around in this car. Sport chrono package. I don't know why would anyone put this on a Panamera. Would you be taking it onto a track? I wouldn't. Maybe some people do and then they lap time it or something, God knows. Okay, let's look at the interior. A lot of useless stuff. HomeLink is something I always pick because electric gates are useful to have. If you want rear passengers to have climate control. Anyway, ambient lighting, including, yeah, it's nice to have. And then seat heating, front and rear. Yeah, I think it's quite useful, especially in living in cold countries. Seat ventilation, certainly not needed. Massage, no, just a pricey option for people with too much money. Now this is again, side airbags in rear compartment. Seriously? This should be standard. All this safety, look at the price, it's 85,000 or 86,000 nearly, and it doesn't have side airbags in the rear compartment. I mean, Volvo and all the other cars that cost a fraction of the price of this have this. Anyway, I don't want night vision assist, lane change assist, blah blah blah. Adaptive cruise control I really like, and I've used it in the past in one of the cars that I was given for a couple of weeks by Porsche. So I think especially on a grand tourer where you're going around Europe and places, it's really good. Storage package, freebie, nice to have, is one of those nets that you get. So luggage compartment and the footwell have nets and things so you can store things that they don't move around. Sun blinds, no. Steering wheel heating, can't believe they charge for this. Cup holder covers. Okay, so yeah, I would have that. Smoking package, very important. Most people don't realize that paying this little bit of money is very useful because it gives you these lids on top of your ashtray. Otherwise they don't have those. So basically they're charging you for lids. But that's Porsche. Okay, that is a very useful thing that they've put in. When you're carrying around your laptops, it's usually a pain. You have to stop somewhere and charge them. So having a socket is good. Fire extinguisher, you can buy a lot cheaper one out in the market, and the rest of it is just waste money, waste money, waste money, waste money. And then let's look at the interior leather. Okay, center console and armrests don't need to have crests embossed on them. The only thing I like is the headrests. Again, it's your brand. You shouldn't charge people for embossing a crest. You should just give it. But that's again Porsche for you. Interior wood. Now I've always liked the dark walnut interior. As you can see in this, it's changed. And with this color combination, it looks really nice. But if I have the red interior, I probably wouldn't choose that because I think the black, the piano black that it comes as standard is good. But since we're doing this, speccing up this car in this color combination, I'll choose this. Okay, so there's so many other options that I don't really even bother looking at because they're just quite expensive and a bit pointless. And when you spend so much money on these things, you never get any money back when you're selling the car. People don't even understand or appreciate it. They look at the overall price, and for a second-hand car, what they're looking at is your engine size, your mileage, the year of manufacture, and then they're comparing the two cars. And one of them might have half the specs of yours, but they won't look at your car because it's more expensive. They don't realize that the initial cost price was so high. So okay, so when I tried to add the brushed aluminium package, it was removing the walnut, which I like in this color combination, so I'll leave it. Audio, right. So for a car this big, I mean, this sound system is really good, but it's also £5,000. That's a lot for a car in which you're not going to spend all your day listening to music, so Bose is sufficient. And USB interface in the rear, yeah, useful. And I guess that's it. So, as you can see, the car is now gone from 73, actually 74 because they lie about the price, to 90,000. This is all great. As you can see, you can download this whole thing, which I will do, and you say print. There's a 360-degree thing, which I really like. This is something I really love about the Porsche car configurator, because basically you've configured your car and you've put all the specs, and it shows you exactly what your car will look like. And it's so tempting when you do this to like, oh, I really want this, I love it, and this is the car I want to have. Good marketing thing, but as you can see, this is not really a proper panoramic sunroof. There are two separate holes, and I bet the front one opens and the rear one doesn't. The panoramics are supposed to be all one piece of glass and no sort of partitions and things. Citroën and all the other cars do a very good job at it. Anyway, this is what the car will look like, and I think you can do an interior view as well. So unfortunately what they've done is they've put this massive screen, it's all a touch screen, and all these touch controls and the haptic engine. Since iPhones developed, everyone is now putting haptic engines, which is basically a little tap that you feel when you press a button or press a screen to make you believe that you're pressing a button. But I don't like any of this. It's just too much fiddly techno gizmo crap that I'm not interested in. The car is to be driven, but most people like the modern technology and they want all the techno gizmo things. Therefore, car manufacturers keep doing it. One thing I would like to highlight in this car is this is the air vent, and the air vents inside, they don't have a little handle or a little button that you can move to swivel it. You have to actually go into the display, press an option to bring up those, and then hold the slider on the screen left to right to move it. How stupid is that? I mean, this is such a waste of technology and everything. If you're driving, what you want to do is, without looking, change the way the vents face you or not. You don't want to be going through a fiddly screen trying to figure out which button to press to get to the right menu and then slide a slider. It's right next to you. However, if you want to move this one because your rear view mirror is fogging up and this one is closed or anything, this one is not controlled electronically. It's the furthest away from you, which you actually need to be electronic, but that isn't. So I don't understand how Porsche have come up with this. Same thing on this side. Yeah, it's fine, it's normal, standard, great, you can reach it with your left hand. So why on earth would you want this to be electric? Right, so let's go back to the outside of the car. So that's also a very nice view of how the car will look, and basically it's like a computer generated animation that moves it around and shows you the car from different angles. It's very beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with it. Looks like I'll have to go back to work very soon to be able to buy this.